Please, members on the other side of this aisle, read this thoughtful letter from your Republican colleague who says that we should err on the side of mercy and compassion and allowing children to have their lives as difficult as it is to get through adolescence in a state of being happy in themselves, participating with their friends in sports. Why would you deny that? What are you afraid of? Honest to God, what are you afraid of? I don't understand it. These young people desperately need to be included, to be welcomed. You send the exact opposite message every single time you can. And I have to admit to you, consider the paradox of what we just considered, a bill to protect children from exploitation, grotesque exploitation, and yet we follow it up with a bullying bill. Shame on this markup.
I know what a woman is. I do not need to be lectured that somehow by saying that men cannot compete against women, we are hurting women and girls. That is an insult to women and girls. It is an insult to me personally that you believe that I am not capable of understanding the difference between women and girls and men and boys.
For me, it's very offensive to see that we have actually men who were, biological sex males now competing against these girls. Let's just be honest, whether we're playing golf or other things, we have for a reason. We have a different place where girls hit the ball, which is a reason for that. And it's sad for me to see that on this issue, we become politicized, and not protecting actually girls' abilities and celebrate successes and win. And now we even have biological male going into sports.
I cannot agree with my Republican colleagues that, as written, H.R. 7187 would help women and girls. There are many problems and inequities that face women and girls in locker rooms and on the sporting field, but the inclusion of trans athletes in women's sports is simply not one of them. I want to call back, if you remember, Utah Governor Spencer Cox, a Republican, explained his thoughtful decision to veto HB 11. It was a state bill, like HR 7187, that would have banned transgender girls from participating in women's sports. Allow me to read his letter, his thoughtful letter. I commend it to all of you about his choice to veto. He writes in part, again, this is March 22nd of 2022, by a Republican Governor, Spencer Cox. Transgender sports participation issue is one of the most decisive of our time, but I hope you will permit me an opportunity to explain my reasons for vetoing HB 11. And he moves on very thoughtfully. Finally, there is one more reason for this veto. I must admit I'm not an expert on transgenderism. I struggle to understand so much of it, and the science is conflicting. When in doubt, however, I always try to err on the side of kindness, mercy, and compassion. I also try to get proximate, and I am learning so much from our transgender community. They are great kids who face enormous struggles. Here are the numbers that have most impacted my decision. 75,000, 4, 1, 86, 56. 75,000 high school kids participating in high school sports in Utah. 4 transgender kids playing in high school sports in Utah. 1 transgender student playing girls' sports. 86% of trans youth report suicidality. 56% of trans youth having attempted suicide. 4 kids, and only 1 of them playing girls' sports across his entire state. That's what this is all about? 4 kids who aren't dominating or winning trophies or taking scholarships? 4 kids who are just trying to find some friends and feel like they are a part of something? 4 kids just trying to get through each day? Rarely has so much fear and anger been directed at so few. We should not turn a blind eye to the genuine problems facing women and girls who we know are disproportionately vulnerable to sexual abuse. UNESCO reports that roughly 1 in 5 women and girls around the world have suffered sexual abuse in sporting events and in the sporting environment. These horrific accounts must not go unreported. I urge my colleagues who are serious about protecting women and girls, not merely bullying trans children, to support my amendment. I urge my colleagues to err on the side of kindness, mercy, and compassion. I yield back.